What's up, guys? So today we'll be reviewing my Lowrider S. I bought this bike in 2020 and had it ever since. I've done a lot of things to it, and I think I love it. I think it's great. I don't think I would rather have any other kind of bike. So I guess you could say this is my dream bike. I wish I had, money and more fun things, but this is pretty good the way it is. It's pretty fast. It's pretty comfortable. Taking on long trips. It's kind of everything you need it to be. So let's get into it, I guess. Take it for a ride. Do some different things with it. And see what we can get from this. So it's got 20,000 miles on it. 23,000 miles on it. I haven't had to do much to this bike except for change the oil and tires and brake pads and things. So it's been pretty reliable so far. Which is good. You don't want to work on it too much. The only thing I've ever had to do to it, besides maintenance, is I did have to put a charging system in it. And I'm not sure what happened to it, what happened to the charging system, why it quit working. And that wasn't too long ago. That was probably at 19,000 miles I replaced the charging system. And it looked like the plug that plugs into the stator on the bottom of the engine looked like the pin was misaligned and it wasn't plugged in, I guess. And so I don't know if that was just a insulation problem or if it melted the rubber and moved or what the deal with that was, but it's really the only thing I've ever had to do to this bike so far. And it rides great, and it's a nice motorcycle. So it's obviously not stock. And if you were going to go get one from the showroom floor and take it for a test drive, it wouldn't be exactly like this, but this is pretty much what I think is the perfect lowrider S. I got my big windshield, keep the wind off me. Got pretty tall bars. This one is built for like comfort and cruising on the highway. It's got some good power and a pretty good sized cam to get up to speed. So nice sounding exhaust. I've been through two exhausts with this bike, and I like this one better because it's quiet until you want to rev it up, and then it gets louder. So I think that's good. You know, when you want it to be quiet, it's pretty quiet. I mean, it still sounds like a Harley, but it's not bad. And then when you rev it up and give it throttle, it wakes up. Sorry. So we're just gonna go for a little ride. Might do some cinematic side shots and talk about what I've done to it, things I like, stuff that's better for me since I'm such a tall guy. I have to have, forward controls and stuff like that. I did like the mid controls on this bike. It felt more agile, and it felt like it was in like attack mode all the time, and I could, throw it in the corners and stuff like that. And honestly, it did handle better with the mid controls, but it just wasn't comfortable for me. Some people, you know, it's perfectly fine. They can ride that all day long. Me, I can't do that. I have to have some kind of forward controls or mid forwards, I guess. Let's go this way. It's getting dark fast. I was gonna take you guys up to the top of the hill, and so we could do an overlook and chat about what's done to the bike. It is kind of getting dark, so I don't know if that's gonna turn out good or what. But we'll get there. We'll figure it out. If not, we'll do some more tomorrow. Anyways, I've ridden a lot of motorcycles, and I do like Harley Davidsons. They have a lot of torque. They have a lot of grunt. I like that. I don't like to rev the motor all the way to 15,000 RPMs to get any power out of it. Crotch rockets are a lot of fun, don't get me wrong. It's just, if you're going to get like a 600cc crotch rocket, it's not as fun for me. I mean, a 1000cc crotch rocket I like because it has a lot of torque also. And you can just kind of torque it around. If you want to go really, really fast, you can rev it up and go. But the 600s just don't do it for me. I don't know. I don't get it. And they're also like little small motorcycles. Right in front of the Popo. Might be not ideal. He doesn't seem to care though. But, if you're going to get a motorcycle that you're actually going to drive, I would get one that's comfortable. Like I said, crotch rockets are a lot of fun, but they're just not comfortable. If you're going to go anywhere for more than an hour, it's kind of no fun. And they're really bouncy at slow speeds, and they're just not as good. At high speeds, they're pretty smooth. Like, anything over 100 miles an hour. Crotch rockets aren't bad. They're smooth, and the suspension's kind of made for that. Oh my gosh, this guy's being ridiculous. I don't get it. I gotta block the whole road. Which is fine, but he looked like he was coming into my lane also. That would be bad. But so that's my background with motorcycles. I like the naked bikes. Those are cool. They're just kind of cramped for me sometimes. I haven't found one I've liked. I rode the MT-09. I think it's the Yamaha MT-09, which is the biggest one, I believe. In that class of Yamaha, and it was a lot of fun, but it wasn't for me. So I would like to ride like a new R1 from Yamaha. I think that would fit me better than most of the crotch rockets. I used to have a 2016 CBR 1000 RR, and I liked that bike a lot. It was fast. I put Toast exhaust on it. It sounded good. It was a nice motorcycle, but like I said, I couldn't go riding around often, like I couldn't go on a trip with it. I wouldn't be able to go across the state like I could. It was exhausting. If I wanted to go to the mountains real quick and go rip around the canyon, that was the bike for sure. but you know, this one does fine. I don't need to like go Mach 10 in the canyon. And this one honestly is funner because it's, you know, doesn't get you into huge trouble if you like crack the throttle. You know, I think this motorcycle tops out at almost 140 miles an hour. I think I've gotten up to like 138, 139. I'm not sure exactly, but it does fine. That's probably fast enough. Versus the CBR, I topped that thing out. The stock computer allows you to do almost 180. I know that you can, you know, put a tuner on it and make it go a lot faster. This has a tuner on it, and I think that's why, because I think the stock motorcycles are limited to 110. So if you put a tuner on it, this one will do 140-ish, which is, you know, good, and it's very stable. It's got the upside down forks, and they're nice forks. These are probably my favorite Harley forks. They're stiff enough and they're smooth enough to get done what you need done. Say for this kind of motorcycle, you probably don't need anything else. The only thing I would do to this motorcycle is lift it an inch, because ground clearance is a problem for this one. I know on the, I think 2022 and up, I'm not 100% sure, but a few years after this motorcycle in 2020, they lifted it to get better clearance so you can corner better, because this one was fine with the mid controls. I mean, I did scrape the pegs on it, and you know when you're leaning over too far and you start scraping the pegs. I put these lower controls on here, the forward controls, and it's you know, it scrapes a lot more now. Probably not much more, but a little more. So I do want to lift this bike up. I know they sell like a rear shock bracket. It's like a solid chunk of aluminum that raises it. And then I'm not 100% sure what they do for the front forks, so I know you could probably lift those up a little bit, put some little spacers in there. So we'll see. I'll try to do that, and then, you know, it'll be a lot better. But like I said, this is a cruiser, nothing fancy. If I were to make this into like a fast stunt bike, I'd probably put a lot smaller handlebars on it, and a lot stiffer shocks, and a lot stickier tires, and then, you know, lift it way up so that way it, you know, handles great, does wheelies. But that's not what this is for. I think there's a parking lot up here. We can go check it out and go look at stuff I've done to it. Stuff that's available for this model and stuff that's available on the newer models that I wish were on this model. Like the windshield, for instance. The newer bikes you can get with the windshield. There's the Lowrider S and the Lowrider ST, and I think you can get the S with a windshield. It comes with a little tiny headlight cover. It looks pretty cool, but it's not like a windshield. It just covers up the headlight and, you know, a little bit of the handlebar risers. So it's not ideal for wind. I was going to stop there, but it looks really dark. We might do the walk around in the morning when it's actually light outside. But one of the things is the windshield. This is a Memphis Shades. I think it's called a Road Warrior. And I think the glass, the plexiglass, is like 14 inches tall. I believe. Maybe it's 12. But I decided to go with that because I had such tall T-bars that, I had to have the windshield taller than the handlebars, otherwise it would look kind of funny. And then these handlebars, they're the perfect height for cruising. My arms are straight out, I'm not down, I'm not leaning over. They're not too tall to where I'm like reaching up. My arms are slightly below my shoulders. And I think that's pretty much perfect for going long distances, cruising. One thing I do wish this bike had was cruise control. That would be awesome. And I know they sell it. It's $300, I think, and you have to put it on, get it programmed. I haven't done that yet. One of these days, we'll see, maybe. Maybe Harley Davison will hook me up or something. I doubt it, but you never know. Another thing I like about the stock motorcycle over this one has a giant air filter on it, and I think this air filter comes on like the big motor baggers. I think it's 117 cubic inch baggers. And as far as it goes for this bike, it doesn't fit with my forward controls. My leg runs into it, and it's not good. It's not horrible, but it's not good. If I had shorter legs, it would be more of a problem. Because my friends sit on this, and they're like, "What the heck?" One thing I do recommend for if you do buy a Lowrider S, I would put exhaust on it pretty much immediately. And also, I would put a tuner on it. And if you want to keep your warranty, you can put the Harley Davison Screaming Eagle tuner on it. I had a friend that did that. He got exhaust and a tuner and everything from Harley Davison, had them put it on. And then he, keeps his warranty. Honestly, I don't care that much. If it breaks, I'll fix it. So I put a tuner that I thought would be a good choice at the time, but now that I had it for a while, it's okay. If I knew a little bit more about it, I think it would be better. But since I'm not a tuner, I don't know everything about it. I know a little bit. I've messed with it a little bit. Got a little more chop in my idle for the cam and stuff, but I don't call myself a tuner by any means, and I don't have access to a dyno, and so I bought the Fuel Pack 3 from Davison. It's kind of like an auto tuner, and you plug it in, and you start it up, and it auto tunes itself. It has full manual capabilities. You can tune it just like all the big tuners, DynoJet and all that. I think it's called Thundermax. I think it's from DynoJet. It's called Thundermax for motorcycles. Anyways, it's pretty much identical as far as like when you look at the software on the computer. It's all the things are called different things, but it's kind of like one of those things when you get Photoshop and then you get the free version of Photoshop. They got to change all the names and locations, but other than that, it's pretty much identical. But if I had that, I could go get this thing dyno tuned. People are kind of scared of the Davison software because they don't know how to use it. But I just wish that people were more open to using it. Because I went to Harley Davison up in, I think it's in North Glen, Colorado, and I talked to their head tuner, and I said, can I see, Thundermax on the computer and see what it looks like, and go over some stuff. And he was super nice and talked to me for like probably over an hour about the tuners and the differences, and even at the end of that conversation, he said he didn't want to tune on the Vents and Hines. Even though we went over them and they're identical, they're just slightly different. He has his, the way he does things, and it's easier on that for him. So, and I'm sure it's probably a little easier in general. I know that the fuel pack has you could run it on a dyno, and they have their software for tuners that makes it a lot easier for tuners, but there's not a lot of people in Colorado that do that. And if there is, let me know. I would love to go get this thing tuned. But I didn't have any problems tuning it. I had to call, though, and I had to get them to send me a map, and then I loaded it on the bike. Because it wasn't auto tuning, which is unfortunate, and it just something was wrong. So I called them. They gave me a map, and it just worked fantastic after that. So, but the first time I tuned it, it worked really well. I had a Dan Moto exhaust on it. I don't really recommend it because it doesn't fit right, but I made it fit, so it worked for me. But if you were gonna buy it and you didn't really have any mechanical ability, I would not buy it, because I had to bend one of the pipes a little bit to make it fit. It was touching my motor. It was smashing the O2 sensor. It was kind of a mess. So, and I called them and tried to get them to send me some new stuff, and they sent me one new pipe, and it was exactly the same, didn't change a bit. So they have something wrong with their jig, where they weld those pipes up or have them bent, or it didn't work. It was a nice pipe, aesthetically it was a nice pipe, and the baffling sounded good, and everything was good. It just didn't fit well on my motorcycle, so I'm sure they have other models that fit great, and they probably fixed it by now, honestly. But that's the tuner. I wish I would have gone a different route. Let me know if it's too dark outside. Is it too dark for you guys on the video? I don't know how well this camera captures nighttime. In the daytime looks fine. So hopefully it's not pitch black and giant headlights, and we'll see. I'll put it on the computer, check it out, make sure it looks good and stuff. But let me know. Never done a night moto vlog, but so far so good. Yeah, and if you have a lowrider S, tell me what you think about it. Tell me what you like, what you dislike, and see if I agree or disagree with that. I've had this motorcycle for 4 years, I think, probably about 4 years, and like I said, it's an awesome bike. I think it's great. I traded a Street Glide in it for it. I used to have a Street Glide. I think it was a 17 Street Glide, and that one had the cruise control and the radio and all the stuff and the bags. I do miss the saddlebags. I don't miss the weight and the way it handled, but I do miss the saddlebags. And it's a lot bigger bike. It's their touring, and it was pretty smooth. Honestly, I think this one is just as smooth on the highway as a Street Glide, but you get saddlebags and stuff. If I knew what I knew then, now I would have got a Road Glide. I test rode one quite a while ago, and I got to take it on I don't know, probably a 45-minute ride, and it was windy. There was bumps in the road, just all kinds of stuff that was against me, and it was an amazing ride. So if you're thinking of getting a bagger, you know, go road glide over street glide any day, because it's just that much better. You don't get pushed sideways from the wind as much when, you know, you don't have all that weight on the handlebars. It seems to handle a lot better. Overall, the road glide it's a better motorcycle. You get more console compartments like sunglasses and gloves and whatever you put there. Whereas this bike doesn't have anything. I just shove everything behind the windshield, hope it stays there. But I know that the Lowrider ST has big windshield. There's no like pockets or compartments, but I know you can add like a radio. Honestly, radios on motorcycles, they're great if you're going like 35, 40 miles an hour, but you know, on the highway they're pretty much worthless. Even if you get like super duper speakers. I had a 1,000 watt amplifier. It's like a 4-channel 1,000 watt waterproof amplifier installed. Well, I installed it, but whatever. It got installed. And then I had Polk Audio Marine speakers in the bags and in the front fairing. And yeah, it was loud, and it was a nice radio. I mean, if you had that thing sitting in a parking lot, it rocked out the parking lot. It was great. I don't know how long the battery would last, but it rocked out the parking lot. And just still though, even with that loud stereo, it didn't sound good on the highway. Like the bag speakers in the bags, they don't. When you're riding down the road, you don't really hear them, especially when you're going, fast. You don't hear them. If you're just cruising around the neighborhood, you hear them just fine. And there's bass, and they sound great, but it really depends what you want it for. You cruise around the neighborhood, listen to music, or go on the highway and listen to music. I'd rather just have a helmet and speakers in the helmet and listen to music. That's way better. It's quiet. The music's loud. Everything is great. Trying to find a place that's got a lot of light. I can pull over and check this thing out. So this is to continue our Harley Davison Lowrider S review. This bike did come in black and silver in 2020. They got a bunch of colors out now. I know they got like a blue and I think they have a red now actually too. But this bike came in black and silver when I first bought it. Sorry. Everybody's in this truck wondering what I'm doing here. Talking to myself. But I did paint this bike. Put some, it's all dirty and there's bugs in it, but I don't know if you can see, like I put some ghost stripes. I put some ghost stripes like in the tank everywhere. So it's just candy apple red with some stripes. I also did the helmet, to match. I actually did the helmet a little darker, and I like the darker paint a little better. But one thing the Lowrider S does not come with is a passenger seat or pegs. So I got a Saddleman seat for this, and I had to make some peg brackets, and then I bought some pegs. They're eBay, but they work, they're fine. And then here's the forward controls. If you're a tall guy, those are better.
got scraped on the ground a couple times, which is not exactly ideal, but whatever. And since the bike used to be black, I painted the pegs purple, so I probably have to change those up since they're you know, it's a red motorcycle now. But I made this sissy bar. This doesn't come with it. I made that. Put some steel laying around the shop. Put this bag on it. It's kind of fallen apart over 4 years, but it worked pretty good for a while. I probably need to get a better one, and I think I got that off eBay or Amazon or something like that. One thing I did have to replace that I didn't have to replace was these spark plug wires. I took it out one night and my friend came and bugged me and said, "Hey, someone's sitting on your bike and she's messing with it." And I thought, oh, okay, I'll go check it out. And she ripped all the spark plug wires out. I didn't know that until I tried to start it up and it didn't start. And she ruined them, so I was like, well, that's a bummer. So I got orange wires. I don't know why. I should have got, like, you know, black or red or whatever. But I had to cut this out to fit so it wouldn't hit, you know, because the bigger pegs are a little nicer to sit on. Other than that, it's pretty much stock, except for a big cam and lifters and push rods and stuff like that for the motor. I do like these leather wrapped. I got that done in Sturgis. And also I like these halo blinkers. They're really nice, kind of match the headlight. That's the only thing I've done to like the lights. It's just got those halo blinkers, and I deleted the rear tail lights just because they didn't look very good. But yeah, that's it. That's the stuff I think should be done to a lowrider S. If there's anything that you've done to yours that you think is great, let me know. And if you're thinking about buying one over like a Street Bob or a Street Glide, I definitely would get this bike over those. It's just way better. It handles better. You don't have to like struggle to back up if you're trying to back up a hill or back down a dirt driveway. It's not heavy, it's light, you know, enough to handle. So yeah, honestly, I think this is the better of the bikes that Harley has to offer now. If I was gonna get one today with all the options that it has today, I'd probably get an ST. It does have small saddlebags and it does come with a pretty big fairing. That's probably what I would buy if I was going to buy one today. And I'd probably do all the same things to it. Put forward controls on it, and the seat, and passenger seat, and a sissy bar, and just to make it comfortable for me and my passenger, and go on trips. And if I need to go somewhere and strap a backpack to it, I can do that too. And just, you know, it's an all-around good motorcycle, so check it out. So that pretty much wraps up my review for the Lowrider S. I was thinking about doing some videos about going to the mountains, checking places out. If you guys have any like ideas of where you want to go, what kind of videos you want to see, let me know. In the future, I'm going to rebuild my chopper, and it'll probably be a series on what I do and different steps in the series. So look forward to that, and I'll see y'all later.